days. So I thought let's talk about what is it that, we should include in a presentation. How should we structure it from start to finish? And I used our one-to-one presentation as well as a guideline in terms of what needs to be in the presentation. So I hope this will add value. I think I did this in December as well, and it has made a difference for my team. So what is it that we expect in a presentation? The first thing is, when you are doing a presentation, if you set up a presentation, you have to be the host. So even if you are not the one who is doing the actual presentation, so you'll find in many cases, some of our assistant supervisors and supervisors, they are not yet probably at a stage where, okay, I see a comment in the chat. Let me just check. They are not yet at a stage where probably they can do their presentations on their own. Something's happening with my laptop. I'm not sure. They are not yet at a stage where they can do the presentations on their own. Okay. Oh, okay. Thank you, Leader Kulu. They are not yet at a stage where they can do their presentation on their own. So probably they will speak to the upline to say, please, I have a group of people that I want you to speak to. And, you should not just sit there and be idle, like you are one of the prospects. You need to be the host. And what do we mean when you say be the host? It means you are the one who has to start the meeting. You introduce yourself, you mention what the presentation is for, and then you introduce the speakers if you yourself are not the speaker. So that just gives confidence in your prospects as well. So don't just invite people to your presentation and then not speak. If you are the one who has organized this group of people to come and listen to our presentation, then you have to be the one to introduce yourself, to greet everyone, and then you can introduce the speaker. What this does is, your prospects, they get to see you speak, they get to see you introduce them, and it also builds confidence in you, rather than you invite people for your presentation and you don't get to say anything throughout the presentation. So take charge of your presentation, be the host. The second thing is, you speak about the company, okay? Provide details about the company history, the company background, and the vision of the company. What this does is it gives your prospect an idea of why should they choose your company. I have attended some presentations where you find people focus on just the incentives, and Forever can offer this and Forever can offer that. And then people leave there without understanding what is Forever. What is the company? What do they do? Where are they from? When did they start? Talking about the company history, most people look at it as, this is boring stuff, let me just skip over it. But what talking about the company history does for your prospects is it gives them confidence in a company. Most people are being scammed. There was QZ the other time, people put in their money, it disappears. There are a lot of things that are coming. There are a lot of companies that have come and they have disappeared. People lost money, people lost products. A lot of things have happened. So they need to have confidence in why they should choose your company. They need to understand that this is a company that has been there for 46 years, and this is a company that is sustainable. It's been growing. It's in over 160 countries. All of that gives them confidence. It also shows them that when they partner with your company, they have the license to trade globally, unlike any other company. So if you are skipping the company history, you are not doing yourself justice, because at the end of the day, people are being approached with different types of companies that have different types of products packaged differently, and they are not sure which company to trust. So if you don't do your homework and understand your company history and sell the company to someone, then it means you will lose out on your prospects. They might join and they will like the incentives, they will like the pictures, the traveling and all of that. But if they don't have confidence that this company is here to stay, they might end up not joining the business. They will join the meeting, they'll be excited, they will dress up, they will take nice pictures, but at the end of the day, they will ask themselves, why should I partner with this company? If I put my money, is it going to come back, or is it going to disappear with the company? So always make sure that you do justice to your company history, to the company background and the vision of the company, because that is why that's what is going to give your prospect confidence in terms of partnering with Forever. So make sure you understand that and try and make it one of the key parts of your presentation. The second thing is the product. When you're doing your presentation, I know some people, they do their presentation and they will finish without even mentioning the products. But the product, if you were trying to invest in a company, or if you were trying to find out what can I do with this money that I have, the first thing that any business-minded person wants to understand is there a market, or is there need for this product? Does this product meet the need that is in the market? Is it priced to sell? Is it priced for profit? So this is also one of the things that can convince your prospect to join. Understanding the product, understanding that yes, there is a need, because we are in the health and wellness sector, and because this is a market that no matter the economy, people still want to look good, people still want to feel good. So you will always have a market for your product. Not only that, but you show them as well the retail profit side of it. Is it priced for profit? Because if I'm coming into a business, I want to understand, if I put this much money, how much is going to be my profit at the end of the day? So do mention the product, do mention that our products are quality products, our products are certified, because people are wary as well of health and wellness products. They are wary of recommending a product, then tomorrow someone comes back sick, or they have side effects or something like that. So people need to understand, are your products certified with the relevant bodies? And yes, our products are. So mention that as a selling point, to say we are not just bringing you something that is being created in someone's basement over there and then sold to people, but this is a high quality product, and it is marketable. People are interested in the health and wellness. Sometimes I also mention COVID to say, what, this made us realize as well the importance of supplementing our bodies and boosting our immune system. So make sure you mention the product, the quality of the product, the fact that there is a need on the market, and that the product is priced for profit. Some people will tell you, no, I don't want to come and recruit people, blah blah blah. People always have a lot of excuses, but the product itself is priced for profit. So even if you decide that you are not going to be recruiting people, you can still make a little bit of extra income just from retailing the product. Another thing is the compensation plan, okay? But when we talk about the compensation plan, you don't have to go into too much detail of it. Most of the time, people won't really understand. You need 2 CCs in this month and all of that, but you need to provide the basics of the compensation plan. You mentioned the levels of the marketing plan. So your assistant supervisor, assistant manager, manager levels. You mentioned what is required to attain the levels. You mentioned the areas of income, and you mentioned how much is the earning potential, and then you mentioned the incentives. So when you're talking about the compensation plan, this is sorry, this is the part where your prospect gets to understand where is the money coming from, the areas of income. So we have income from retail, we have income from the ones of commissions like your sign-ups, we have commission from the 4CCs, we have leadership income, and then we have global income. All of that, you do mention it, but try not to go into too much detail, because it can be too much for someone to swallow all at once. And then you tell them about the earning potential of each level, bearing in mind, of course, that in our company, your income is not kept, which is one of the major selling points if you're looking at prospects who are in the working industry, because you know when you are working, your salary is kept, you have a salary band, and you are told that you cannot earn more than this amount because probably you are between 100 and 200,000, whereas in Forever, your income is not kept. So they have the potential of earning unkept income. You get in what you put in. And then you also mentioned the incentives. So your incentives, that becomes your Forever to Drive, the global travel, the chairman's bonus, and all of that. Then one of the major selling points is the support. Most people, maybe you've gone through the presentation, they are interested, but now what happens? They start to think, but I can't sell. I've never sold before. I don't know how to talk to people. What do I know about health and wellness? So those are the things that are going through their mind as you are going through your presentation. So you have to mention the fact that they will get the support that they need. And this is not something that you just mention. Make sure that you are also practicing it in your team as well, because the support, now someone who was thinking along those lines, they get to understand that, you know what, I may not know much about health and wellness and products and all of this, but this person is telling me that I'm going to get the necessary training. They're going to teach me about the products. They're going to show me how to talk to people. So probably this is something that I can enter into. You'll find a lot of people have tried different types of businesses, and most people fail, not because they were not smart enough, but mostly because they did not get the necessary support. So when someone understands that when I come into this business, my sponsor is going to be there for me. My sponsor is going to help me with trainings, with presentations at the start. They also need to understand, over and above the trainings that we have as a team, the company itself does have trainings. We have the Power Hour. We also have a back office where you can, download the necessary information that you need, like your price lists. You can do your orders from the back office. You can track your team using the back office. You get an online store. And I find the online store is one of the major selling points, especially now that we are in the time of, technology taking over the world. Most people are busy. They don't have time to go and do deliveries one by one all the time. So if you mention the fact that, you know what, when you sign up for Forever, you also do get a link to an online store where your customers can order their products and have them delivered from anywhere in the world. That's another good thing to mention. Mention that you also receive the marketing material. So at Forever, we do have the catalogs, we have the pamphlets that you can use for the products. You can get your business cards, tablecloth, banners, all of the marketing material is there. All you just need to do is run with the business. You also mentioned that in Forever, we work as a team, okay? And the team is always there to support. We have events, and we also have recognitions. For me, that was one of the reasons why I joined the recognitions, because most people are in jobs where they feel like they are not seen, they are working so hard, and there's no appreciation. So someone can join just for the sake of knowing that, you know what, here we celebrate you, we celebrate your success, we support you, we have events where you get to walk on stage and people are celebrating your success. So all of this is just under support. Of course, you choose how you want to explain it, or the stuff that you want to mention and the stuff that you do not want to mention, because you will understand the type of people that you have invited and what would interest them more in terms of the support. Here, I just listed everything, but sometimes you can't list everything. Then you talk about the timing and testimonials. So for me, I always prefer the testimonies to be towards the end of the presentation, so that they get to understand the basics of the company first. There are people who start with testimonials, maybe to boost morale, to get people interested, to get people listening. It's really up to you what you want to start with and how you want to structure your presentation. But as long as you make sure that you know the key areas are indeed in your presentation. So your testimonials, try not to make them too long or too many testimonies. So you mention maybe stories of people. For me, when I'm doing a presentation, I prefer to use stories of people that are in the room so that people can actually see them and relate. Okay, if it's on Zoom, probably I will unmute the person and ask them to give their testimony. If it's not possible, then obviously you can just use your slides and explain someone else's testimony. But what I've found is when you create a presentation for your prospects, they have come into that presentation for you. So you might feel like your story is not yet big enough to share, but that's the story that they want to hear. So over and above all the fancy, nice stories that we have in Forever, your story matters most, especially to your prospects. They want to get to understand, why is it that you joined, and why is it that you believe in this company so much that you have invited us here. So you'll find some FBOs, they don't want to say their stories because they feel like, I only made 1,000, and 1,000 is too little. But your prospects are struggling with money for fuel. 1,000 to them actually makes a lot of sense. And you might find some people might struggle to relate with the very big fancy testimonies. So use your story as well, in as much as you are going to take the inspirational stories from our leaders, who have been able to achieve great things. I just want you to know that your story matters. If you've made 500, don't be shy about, I've made a commission of 500. You are still better off than where you were when you started. If your health has improved because of the products, use that as your story as well in your testimonies. You might find that might actually convince your prospects more, because they are able to relate to you as the person that they know. So show them what you have been able to achieve from the business, no matter how small. Mention, even if it's 500, mention, you know what, this time of the month I used to struggle. My salary is finished. This month I got 500 rand and I was able to go buy groceries, or I was able to get money for transport to work. That small testimony, as you look at it thinking that it's small, will make a very big impact on someone that is in the meeting. So when you are structuring your testimonies, make sure you include yours over and above all the other nice fancy stories that we have in Forever. Then the last, I think this should be the last slide, will be taking questions from guests. This is if time permits. okay? Because most people now, after listening to your presentation, listening to your testimony, some may have questions. So it's important to just give them the platform. If time does not allow, of course, you can then refer them to, to say after the presentation, if you have calls or questions, please just call me or send me a message and I can assist with answering any questions that you might have. But I find sometimes it's more effective to ask them to ask in the meeting, because you'll find probably there are 6 of your guests that have the same question. Then you can answer them all in one platform, and then you minimize having to go and re-explain the same thing over and over to 10 different people. So do allow a platform for your guests to ask any questions if they do have. Then once you've received questions, or maybe there were no questions, then you, as the person who has invited us, remember you did the introduction, you introduced the speakers, you greeted everyone. Now you are the one who also has to close the meeting. So you just pick a few points to summarize, especially the things that you want to emphasize. You summarize, you thank the speakers, and you thank the guests for attending, then you close the meeting. Okay, so for me, normally that's how I feel, or I structure my presentations with my team. These are the things that I include. I've put them in the order in which I do my presentations. You might order them differently, but I feel like these are the key points that your presentation needs to have, so that when your guests leave, they understand exactly what is Forever, what do they do, how long have they been in business, what products do they have, and you as an FBO, what is it that you are doing? So you tell them about, we use the products, we share the products with other people, we build a team, and then we train our team. You mentioned the support that you have to offer. You mentioned the tools that are available for them when they partner with your company. And then you make sure that you are there to start the meeting and close the meeting if you are the one who has set it up and invited your guests. Then another thing that I forgot to mention, I don't know how I forgot to put it in the slide. For me, if time allows, at the beginning of the session when you're doing your introductions, depending on how many guests you have as well, you can allow them to introduce themselves, so you get them to, those who are comfortable, because not everyone wants to speak in a public platform, but those who are comfortable, you can get them to introduce themselves, tell us what they do. Sometimes if it's just a small group, like 3 to 4 people, I can ask them as well to just, like, what motivated you to attend this session. That always helps in terms of when you are now going through all these points for the slides and the presentation, you know exactly what to target, because you understand your guests, what they do, and why they are in the meeting. Then it just helps you not to waste time on focusing on things that they're not going to relate to. So thank you so much. I don't know if there are any questions, additions, subtractions. I'm going to allow you, my leaders, to unmute yourself. If you want to make an addition, let me check in the chat. You are welcome to unmute and speak. Those who want to type in the chat, you are welcome to, type in the chat as well. If you want to make a contribution in terms of what is it that you feel is the best way of structuring your business presentations.